The Thunderbolts have always been Marvel's answer to this question. What happens when villains try to be heroes? But with the new Thunderbolts trailer debuting at the Super Bowl this past Sunday, is Marvel trying to stay true to their comic characters, or are they taking them in a whole new direction, basically making them like Suicide Squad Marvel Edition? That's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. I saw the trailer for the Thunderbolts at the Super Bowl. I wasn't there physically, but I saw it on the TV. And I got some thoughts about it. I think it looks interesting. So let's break it down. We've got our favorite characters, Yelena Belova, Red Guardian, Bucky, John Walker, Taskmaster, Ghost. This is a weird matchup, and it's much different from the one in the comics, but it might be interesting to see how this goes over in the public eye. And this was an interesting choice to me to put as Marvel's Super Bowl big game trailer over, I don't know, I mean, I guess Captain America is too close to coming out, so maybe that wasn't a good one. The Fantastic Four, they dropped that trailer before the Super Bowl, so I don't really know why they're putting all their eggs in this basket. But to give a brief history on the Thunderbolts themselves, because they are a team name that has existed in the comics, although not very many of the characters on the team in the MCU are really the ones from the comics. But the Thunderbolts first appeared in The Incredible Hulk number 449, created by writer Kirk Busiek and artist Mark Bailey. Sorry if I botched that pronunciation. They were initially presented as a new superhero team following the apparent deaths of the Avengers. And in a shocking twist, they were actually the Masters of Evil in disguise, led by Baron Zemo. Now, originally, Baron Zemo was the leader of the Thunderbolts in the comics, and they actually got their names, the Thunderbolts, from Thunderbolt Ross, who is Red Hulk and will be in Captain America 4, and I don't know if that's definitely not what they're going to go with the route for in this movie, since it seems they have no relation to General Ross at all, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they do. But that's where they got their name in the comics, and it seems that they're taking just a different approach in the movie. And over time, some of them kind of grappled with their identities and chose to be heroes over villains. And they've also been led by Hawkeye and Luke Cage before. The most notable members from the comics were Baron Zemo, Songbird, Atlas, Mach 1, Moonstone, and Fixer. And in the Super Bowl trailer, the lineup is Yelena Belova, Red Guardian, Taskmaster, Ghost, US Agent, Bucky, and this character Bob, who we'll talk about in a second. This is what that chick from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, that's right, that's her full name, I got it right. Whew. She's been trying to assemble this whole time. I don't think this is what Marvel had originally planned for her to be assembling, but I guess this is what they decided to go with. And as we saw kind of in the first trailer and in this one, she is the person who bought Avengers Tower, which, if you didn't know, this was a big question that's been troubling Marvel fans for years. I mean, in 2017, in Spider-Man Homecoming, one of the plot points was that someone had bought out Avengers Tower. Tony had sold it away to some mysterious figure, and we didn't know who it was for the longest time. We were trying to figure it out in like Far From Home. We hoped it was like Norman Osborn or Kingpin, although both of those were pretty unlikely possibilities, I guess. But now it's revealed it was Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. So after that, is it like 8 years of waiting to see who bought Avengers Tower? Was it worth it, in my opinion? I don't know. But I guess it's, whatever. It's been too long at this point that it doesn't really matter anymore, I guess. We got bigger problems. But this trailer shows that she assembles the Thunderbolts, or I guess Bucky does as well, to stop this new threat that's kind of mysterious in the trailer and it's kind of hinted at. And it's actually going to be Sentry, aka Void. Now, Bob, this character that we kind of see is like a nobody who I guess joins them, who throughout most of the movie will probably be like comedic relief. He's actually going to be Sentry, and he's going to unleash himself as this major character from the comics, because Sentry in the comics is named Robert Reynolds, and he possesses, quote, the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. He's an insanely powerful character, but he's Sentry, and he also has this dark side called Void. And that's what we kind of see in this trailer, this dark figure who's making these giant shadows over New York and is causing mayhem. So I think he's actually a good villain choice for this type of movie. I honestly wasn't expecting him to be included like in the MCU because he's kind of a niche character, but the fact that he's in this trailer and that they're kind of hinting towards him, although we don't see him fully, is actually really cool. And that's a cool choice to be the villain of the Thunderbolts movie. And I don't know, the trailer was good. I didn't think it was like the blow me away trailer that really dropped my jaw and made me go, wow, this is going to be the greatest, Marvel movie of the year. I don't know. I maybe it looks fun to some other people, but I don't know if the general public really knows who the Thunderbolts are, or if most people are generally excited for this, because I would be interested, and I think it's going to be a fun, entertaining movie, but I'd be interested to see how it sets itself apart from like the Guardians of the Galaxy or the Suicide Squad, for instance, because it's just like a ragtag team of misfit characters who are kind of put together and try to do good, and they go up against this villain that's slightly worse than they are. So I don't know. It could be fun, but I don't know if it's something that we've already seen before And I would just wonder how it would make itself different. It actually looks pretty distinct in the color profile and the visuals in the movie. I think it looks at least a little bit more distinct than some of the past Marvel movies have been, but I just don't know how it's all going to play out. And I honestly just don't know what to make of the trailer as well, although it does look interesting. The thing with this movie is that since it's in the multiverse saga, and no, I don't think every movie has to be this big multiversal level of chaos and stuff ensuing like some people try to say, oh, whatever. I can be fine with a fun, street level ground story, but I'd be interested to see how this ties into the larger space of the MCU, because last year we only got one movie, and that was Deadpool and Wolverine, and this year we're back to the normal MCU 3 movies, and I'm interested into how this is going to play into everything. If this is going to be like an Ant-Man and the Wasp situation, because like I remember when Avengers Infinity War came out, big earth-shattering event that left on a huge cliffhanger. And then the next movie after that was Ant-Man and Wasp, kind of like a palate cleanser, like we were all devastated after the ending of Infinity War. And then we walked into Ant-Man and the Wasp and had a lot of fun and, kind of were a little relieved after, the trauma that we shared from the previous movie. So maybe, I don't know, Fantastic Four will be a giant movie and then a lot will happen in it. And then we can kind of have some fun with Thunderbolts. So I am excited for it, I'd be interested to see what's going to happen, and I obviously will definitely go see it. It's not like I won't be seeing it, but I'd be interested to see how, the general fan base reacts, because with all these different shows and projects and movies and all this different stuff happening, it might be a little hard to keep up with who all of these characters are, where we've seen them before, but all of them, I believe, except for Bucky, are introduced in this new phase after Endgame. So it's good to see Ghost again, and we're seeing a different version of Taskmaster, I believe, too. Which some people point out that he doesn't make it past like the first battle, maybe, because we don't see him in a lot of the third act of the stuff in the trailers. So maybe he dies, or I don't know. But it's interesting. It's an interesting lineup, and it's definitely differing from the comics. So I am at the very least intrigued to see how the MCU is going to pull this one off, and what direction they're going in, and how this is all going to tie together, even with Sentry and Void as well, who's a really cool character, and I can't wait to see how they handle him in the movie as well. As we're going to watch Bob kind of turn into that character. So it is interesting, but let me know what you thought down below in the comments. Are you excited for the Thunderbolts? Do you think it's going to be different from Suicide Squad or the Guardians of the Galaxy and be its own thing? What are your thoughts on it? What do you think of the trailer? Will you be checking it out in theaters? Make sure to let me know down below in the comments. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye-bye.